So I've been meaning to ask you, have you read this book?
No. Our band could be your life.
Yeah. It's
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's all about the underground indie movement of the 1980s, 1981 to 1991.
Those were my years.
I know. So I think you'd really like it. But the coolest thing is the Minutemen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the Minutemen?
I didn't know them at the time. I mean, I heard of them later because they're so famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time, that wasn't really where I was at.
Well, where were you at? I thought the 80s. You were like, you were in your late teens, mid-teens, late teens.
Well, I was listening.
In the 80s.
I told you I was listening to classic rock. We listened to the Who and the Stones. I mean, not so much the Stones. I listened to the Stones, the Kinks, Pink Floyd. That stuff.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I know you're into this music. I just sort of assumed you
no,
were
it's
there
cool.
at the beginning.
No, it's very cool. But yeah, I mean, the Minutemen. I mean, they weren't like. I mean, they were underground, and I was. I wasn't underground.
You were above ground.
I was well above ground at the time. I was in Colorado. It's a great title.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's awesome. I mean, and it totally encapsulates how, for a lot of young kids,
that's how I felt.
Yeah.
About music. I mean, I didn't have a band like that, but if I could have, I would have.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people would. It's the same with me, too. Like, I found out about all these bands after all of them, with the exception of, Sonic Youth and the Butthole Surfers. They were all, old news, Like, they weren't bands anymore. They'd been broken up for, 10 years by the time I found out about them. And it's kind of heartbreaking, to, feel this affinity.
Yeah.
This affinity with these musicians, and then not be able to ever see their shows, and you buy their catalog on CD, and back when they were making the music, CDs didn't even exist. It was all about vinyl singles, How's that working out for you?
It's wonderful.
It's delicious.
There's an American Indian symbol on this.
Yeah, I know.
You guys want eggs and bacon?
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome.
All right, cool. Be ready in 5.
So, I mean, of all of these bands, Sonic Youth, Big Black, Fugazi, Beat Happening, Butthole Surfers.
I know, but I feel the same. I mean, I found out about these guys after it happened, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never knew them while they were happening, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating, because I think Sonic Youth is the only one left.
Sonic
the
Youth.
only band still standing, and they're one of the only bands that actually were a commercial success, eventually.
Right.
Eventually, after all of this.
Right.
But, do you have this record, this Minutemen record?
Double nickels on the dime.
It's a sort of refutation or response to Sammy Hagar's I Can't Drive 55.
Well, I know that. I mean, I was there for that.
Well,
one.
I know, but they're
just
like...
so lame.
They're like,
I hate that song. I hate Sammy Hagar. That's all they played in Colorado in the
Yeah,
80s.
I know. Exactly.
And on MTV,
and even in the 90s, even now you can't get away from that stuff, And it's funny that a cultural history of something in the 1980s could still be so completely, totally relevant. Like, there's still that same wave of discontent with the youth that are yearning. I mean, I'm not even youth anymore, but, I still yearn for something meaningful and independent and under the radar.
But how do you find it while it's happening? Is the thing.
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of it just sort of happened in all of these different places, and they didn't necessarily even know the people in Minnesota, or Minneapolis, LA, Washington D.C., Boston. They didn't necessarily even realize that the same thing was happening in all these different parts of the country, because there was very little unity.
Right, and there was no internet. There was no it wasn't like that.
Well, the internet. Yeah, let's not even talk about the internet, because that kind of changed everything. But,
that's lame.
Yeah. But, anyways, it's a very, very good book, and I think you should read it.
Here, you guys, before we get the food out, here you go, have some coffee.
Oh,
thanks, honey.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, enjoy.
Fantastic.
Don't get up. Don't get up. Right. It's cool.
Hot. That's lame.
Yeah.